Welcome back. Let's continue to explore Vietnam today. Hanoi, capital of Vietnam. For those who come here for the first time, they will often leave with a little love. You feel like you've just sat across from an elegant lady. She doesn't need to do anything. Just smiling makes me feel comfortable. Hanoi has a hidden charm that only a city with a deep history can have. When you come here, just step outside and you will immerse yourself in its culture. Feel it unconsciously. Let me explain this in today's video. What are you exposed to first when you come to Hanoi? Maybe the voice. Don't think this isn't very relevant, because Hanoi people's accent is very different.
Là cứ chiến thắng ngày nào, thưa quý vị và các bạn, một sự kiện
dòng sông Lơ Đãng hoặc có vàng nơi ấy.
Là ngày xưa trẻ con các nhà thì
cách đây 62 năm, một chiếc xe.
Chào quý vị, chào các bạn. Chương trình thời sự chiều nay, 26 tháng Giêng năm 2001.
Not a difference in words, but a difference in spirit. I have to live with them for a long time to really see how recognizable this is to people from other parts of Vietnam. Hanoi's accent is the standard of Vietnamese. If you have ever studied Vietnamese, all the knowledge you learned is correct in Hanoi. All words, grammar, intonation, and punctuation are fundamental knowledge of Vietnamese. Remember this, because Hanoi people extremely respect that. Unlike other places, the language is mixed. The preserved voice is evidence of the preserved culture. The people to whom this voice was imparted were extremely well educated. But what if the voice is correct? Because it sounds so good, it's loved. This voice is passed down like a dedicated chef who spends his life coming up with a great recipe and passes it on to the next generation. And then it is passed down for thousands of years. That formula is perfected and honed over generations. A Hanoi person speaks like an artist. Art that when exposed to many times will make us unforgettable. The sound is spoken with great confidence, pride, gentleness, and humility. When we hear them speak, we can imagine them spending their whole lives perfecting such speech. It's easy to understand why it's not easy to enjoy the perfect voice these days because of cultural interference, but there are quite a few well-educated young people in Hanoi. You can still find them somewhere to listen to talk to them. There are rules when pronouncing Hanoi people that you can recognize when speaking to them as follows. The voice of Hanoi girls is so light, so accurate, a little angry, a little mischievous, like they've just grown up, like they haven't fallen in love yet, like they're in love, pure, like singing a lullaby, and like there's wind blowing on the tip of the tongue. Hanoi men's voices are deep and warm. There is little noise in the way native Hanoians speak. Especially the voice is noble, round and clear. No hesitation. No raising the voice at the end of the sentence. No accentuation. No dragging. No excess sounds. Makes the other person comfortable and happy while still feeling their extensive education. If you come to Hanoi for the first time, trying to go to as many places as possible is not a good idea, like delicious food. You have to feel it. Don't be in a hurry. In this case, spend your first week here just walking around. 12 flower seasons corresponding to 12 months are a unique beauty of Hanoi that cannot be found anywhere else. In February, the Ban flower season begins. A series of streets in Hanoi begin to turn white with swa flowers, as white as snow when March comes. April, late spring, early summer is lily season. In June, lotus flowers are faintly rustic and peaceful. Crocodile flowers in July fall on the sidewalk on Phan Dinh Phung Street. September is when the wind carries the sweet scent of milk flowers. Autumn has come. In October, chrysanthemums signal that winter is coming. Yellow mustard is brilliant throughout the alluvial land along the river when December comes. Throughout the year, we can see flower vendors everywhere in Hanoi. Each flower season has different colors. The colors are not only flowers, but also the architectural colors and background colors of dry leaves. Hanoi is a city with many trees, especially many old trees. With just a passing breeze, you can hear the sound of the leaves. Not many cities have that. Ancient trees need hundreds of years to grow. Famous, wonderful streets in Hanoi. ancient Hanoi architecture is concentrated mainly in the Old Quarter. Also known as the 36 Streets, the street is made up of small houses with thatched or tiled roofs. Ridges connected one after another from rows of streets, street after street. The typical house on these streets has a through-room architecture arranged in many layers separated by a small yard developed mainly according to the specific needs of a family's life in the last century. Not far from the old town, we will immediately find ancient European architecture. This architecture was left by the French a century ago when Vietnam was still a colony. In the 20s of the 20th century, Art Deco architecture began to thrive in Hanoi, especially in the 30s. Construction works used classic shapes in spatial layout, square blocks. Rectangles combined with semi-cylindrical blocks create a modern and simple architectural form. In addition, there are decorative motifs made of bent steel or embossed with cement and plaster with soft lines that reduce the roughness of the concrete blocks. Let's take a look at this beauty.